Hey guys, I'm here. I'm just setting up and stuff, but make sure you put your hand down when you're done. I'll turn the chat on. Okay, can you all hear me? I am always here, right, pretty much on time. I was just helping Mrs. Williamson with a math question, and I couldn't get out of her classroom because everyone was leaving. Okay, you might need a calculator. How many people are here? There was a bunch of people on and then they dropped off, so I'm not too sure what's going on. But we'll start on time because there is a point of doing this if there's only 3 people, and I didn't forget actually, guys. So you all still here with me, Stephen, Shama, and Zach? Yeah, yeah? Okay, thank you. All right, guys, so we're going to start working tonight on percentages. So hopefully you've got a calculator with you. Thank you. Somebody just came in to hand me something. So we're going to start out here first with percentage. We're looking at percentage, converting those to a fraction or to a decimal. So we're going to start with what the percentage term means. So you can chat me your answer to that. What does the term percentage mean? Shama, you need to adjust your audio then. Just a second, guys. Just getting Shama. Okay, it does mean out of percent. It does mean out of 100. You're right. All right, so the percentage, the term percentage means out of 100. We should have learned that in class today when we were working with the gizmos. All right. So all percentages can be represented as a fraction. And what would the denominator of the fraction be? Anybody want to answer that? Oh, William's there. Are you guys using your microphones at all?
Out of 100?
Good. It does have a, yeah, it would be out of 100. So the denominator of your fraction, always for a percentage, is out of 100. So let's take a look at some questions here. What are the following percentages as a fraction? So we're not going to worry too much right now and for the next few minutes about putting them into lowest terms. So what about this very first one, 37%? Zach says 37 out of 100. William says 37 out of 100. And then Zach's on to the next one. Very good. 46 out of 100. Next one is 9 out of 100. And Stephen's got 36 out of 100 from something. Oh, 46, that's right. Yeah. And 18, good. So we're getting the idea that all we do is we take our percentage and put it over 100. Because our decimal, now, on these ones, some of them can be reduced to lowest terms. This is the part where it gets a little tricky around percentage. Someone will say something to you like, what percentage is 13 out of 25? Those ones are easy to make into a fraction out of 100. And we'll show you about making percentages using your calculator in a couple of days. So let's take a look at some of these ones. Can I reduce 37 out of 100, or is it in its lowest terms? Is 37 out of 100 in its lowest terms? You can use your audio if you want to, you guys. It's sometimes fine with me. Yes, you can reduce it, or is it in lowest terms? It is in lowest terms, says Stephen. So that's good. All right, anybody else have a thought on that? Yes, it is in lowest terms. Now, what about 46 out of 100, you guys? Do you think 46 out of 100 is in lowest terms? Sure. No, William says no. And we know that because 46 is an even number. And we know that all even numbers can be divided by 2. And we know that 100 is an even number as well. So we're going to divide them by 2 and we get 23 out of 100. Is 23 out of 100 in its lowest terms? Stephen says yes, and I believe him. Let's look at the next one. We actually had this one in class today, and I didn't realize it when I was making this up. 9 out of 100. Is 9 out of 100 in lowest terms? Yes, according to Stephen, it is. What do you think, Gloria? Is 9 out of 100 in lowest terms? Jack says yes, because it's odd. Now, it doesn't always work with odd numbers. Some odd numbers can be, you're right. With 100, it is. So some odd numbers, your numerator and denominator can both be divided, but in this case, it can't. Good. What about 20 out of 100? Oh, William's got it reduced already. Yes, it can be reduced, and William got it out right away. He divided the top and the bottom of the fraction by 20, and he got 1 out of 5. All right, and our last one is 18%. It was 18 out of 100. Can it be reduced? Yes, Stephen says it can. He's emphatic, in fact. I got it twice. And what can it be reduced to? 9 out of 50, he says. Can that be reduced anymore? No, it cannot. Very sad. All right, we're going to move on. All right, so now we're looking at the decimal equivalent of a percentage. So what is the decimal equivalent of a fraction out of 100? So let's go back to our 18%. So it was 18 out of 100. I'm just going to find my pen here. Here it is. My pen is not working. All right. Nothing's working today. So say we had a fraction 18 out of 100. What is the decimal equivalent of that? Thank you, William. It's decimal 1/8. So we saw that there are 2 decimal places in our question. I'm going to use my pointer. I like using those. There are 2 decimal places in our question, right? 0.18. So it becomes 2 zeros in our numerator or denominator. Can't talk this afternoon. So there was 2 decimal places in our question, 0.18. So 2 places. So if then we look at these percentages, how do we make them into a decimal equivalent? Notice I've given you 2 single digits. You have to think about those ones. All right? So each one of these, when you think about the fraction, is a fraction out of 100. Ah, William's smart. Excellent. So the first one, let's look at 23%. All right? 23% is, I'm going to go back to my pens. I'll be switching back and forth as a killer. Is 23, okay, look now, 23 out of 100. 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. So it equals decimal 23. The next one was 7. 7 out of 100. Now these ones we have to remember. It's easy to make a mistake with this one. It should be decimal 07, but some people think it's decimal 7. What happens when it's decimal 7 and we make it 2 places? We have to annex a 0. So what is the percentage that I just wrote right there? That's right. That would be 70/100, which clearly isn't 7%. So that's not the right one. We have to put the 0 because we have to remember it's 7 out of 100, not 70. All right, next one, 14%. The fraction equivalent. And it's nice to do this step in between for some people. Makes it easier for them, some don't have to. 14 out of 100, 2 zeros, 2 decimal places. Decimal, 1, 4. All right. Next one is 82%. So it's 82 out of 100. I'm getting better at writing, I think. 2 decimal places, it's going to be, Shama, any idea? Decimal 82. Good. I wish I could still draw, apparently it fell off. My nose is stopping. Decimal 82. So there we go. Very last one, 4%. 4 out of 100. Okay. Now, what does that equal in decimal equivalent? Does anyone have the answer? William's right on. Spot on, William. We need 2 decimal places. And of course, if we put the 4 in the first place, that would be 40. So it's decimal 04. All right. So this stuff is fairly beginner, fairly easy. Let's do some problems. We'll do this quickly because it's already 10 after 4 and we've only got about 5 minutes. I'm going shopping for a new iPad and the regular cost is $600. London Drug is having a resale that reduces the price 20%. How can we figure out how much I will get off the original price? Anyone have a thought on that? Anyone know what 10% of $600 would be? This is actually tougher than it looks. $60, says Stephen. That's right. So if I have $60 for 10%, how much is 20%? If $60 equals 10%, Stephen says 20% is 120 because it's double that. Good for you. All right. So we would get $120 off the original price. And this is going to lead into estimation with percentages. You have to get really good at this in life. Does anybody know why? Well, dead airspace out there. Anybody know why you have to get good at estimating percentages? Okay, well, Zach said prices, and he's right in a certain way. It's because when you're shopping, you have to be able to do some of the math in your head. So say I go into Blue Notes, and there's a pair of jeans that I really want, and I don't know if I can afford them or not. They're regular $90, but they're 60% off. All right? So I'm thinking, okay, if they're $90 and they're 60% off, I've got to figure that out in my head, and this is what I actually do. So I think, what is 10% off $90? Can anybody tell me? What is 10% off $90? Figure it out in your head so it doesn't have letters. 10% is 9. Okay. So 60% is going to be how much, William? $54, right? He knows his time figures. So when I'm going into my store and the jeans are regularly $90 and they're 60% off, I can see right there I'm going to get $54 off the original price. And this is where percentage, being able to do percentage in your head will come in handy. Now notice I didn't try and calculate 60% of 54 because it's too much. But I know that 10% is a benchmark. I know that 10% of anything is 1/10 of it. So if I divided 90 by 10, I'd get 9. And so I thought, oh, $9 is 10%, so 9 times 6 is the difference. And if you don't get that, that's all right. We're going to do lots of this in class, so you don't need to worry about that. All right? Now, here's one. You know what? I was going to give you this question for your questions today, but I think I'll do something different. So for your questions today, what I would like you to do is to do the decimal. I'm going to write this down. The decimal and fraction. And now you're listening to this, so it will sound better because this problem's a bit hard. Decimal and fraction for the following numbers, okay? So I want it for 24%, 8%, and 93%. You don't have to reduce your fractions, but if you know how to, you can. You should get extra marks because you were the only ones that came, but I wonder if there was a problem because earlier on there was way more than just 5 people on. So I wonder if maybe some of the internet servers have gone down somewhere in Langley or something. I'm not too sure. Any questions about this? Any questions at all? Okay, so I want you to do the decimal and fraction equivalents of 24%, 8%, and 93%. Did he really? I reminded everyone in class today, and I told them on my email from my class, so I don't know. Hopefully people will get back in the swing of things. I will put the, yeah, I would like you to, I would like you to write the decimal and the fraction for 24, 8, and 93%. Not at $2,000, you can forget that. This is just what I want you to do. Easy peasy. So the questions are to calculate, I'm writing this in the decimal and fraction for the following percentages. 24%, 8%, 93%. Okay, so it's in the chat now, you guys. Did you know you can pull your chat off and make it bigger? Just pull it over the screen, pull it down, it'll get bigger. Can you see me doing that? You can do that at home too. All right, and you can change them around. Just put the participants on the top. All right, any questions, you guys? It's 4:17 and you're free to go. I was out 3 minutes early. Bye, Stephen. Bye, Zach. Did you get the questions down, Gloria? Bye, Shauna. Bye, William.